Hello everyone, Thardu here and welcome to our second video on the EverQuest tutorials with the Warrior. I have just logged in and got two items from the events currently running, but I'm not going to look at those now. Since we've leveled up, I just want to check for new quests. So we've got a new quest here for Spider Tamer Gugan. Grab that one, check with Rahitz. So we've got Rebellion Reloaded and Arachnid. So just accepting both of those. For Rebellion Reloaded, what we need to do is give one arrow to guard Rahitz. We did keep our arrows, so I'm just going to give one arrow. I just want to move this give window to over here. There we go, and he's given us a quiver as a reward, which I am going to keep on my warrior. That will allow us to do some ranged attack. The quiver is a 4-stack container that would pick up arrows or hold arrows for us. So I'll just move my arrows into that. Just gives us some feedback on, or some details on ranged attacks. There we go, just close all of those. Let's have a quick look at our inventory. I've got 12 gold. So let's go and see if there's anything worthwhile to get from the melee terms vendor over here. What you can do is you can click on this level column, which will sort it by level. And if you scroll down, we've got Elbow Strike, which is a level 5 skill. And we have Tome of Focused Will Discipline, which is a level 10 skill. Just looking if there's any level 0 items. No, there aren't any. There is a bow here, but it will cost us 1 platinum, which we don't have at this point in time. We do have enough for Elbow Strike, so let us buy that tome and it will go into our next available inventory slot. We've got 2 levels to go before we can pick that up. Okay, so if we look at the next quest in our list here, we need to kill 12 Gloom Spiders and 4 Gloomfang Lurkers. So let's head over and go and do that. I'm just going to run past the rats and the bats. I will be opening barrels that we come across, and that is purely because I want to try and get some more containers for us. Just set this to action page again so we can use open. Alright, so that's where we entered this room. If we go straight through and out here, we get into an area with the spiders. Rufus here is a named mob, identifiable by a capital, and the name does not have A or An. That's how you identify named mobs. They generally drop improved loot. Some of them drop very specific loot that's unique to them. Be aware that loot rules could be different on different servers. So always check the server rules to understand what the looting policies and loot roles is like on that server. I did give it some thought, and I thought I would finish the tutorial quest on the warrior, and then I'll look at the feedback to decide whether I'm going to continue making more EverQuest content. Just going to kill the spiderling. I'm just killing as many mobs as I can to try and get some XP. Can move these windows to the side. I just keep spamming my taunt and kick as they come off cooldown. You can see our kick is now improved to level 9 as well. So we are slowly building up. There's another quest we can do in this area, and that is to loot 4 Gloom Deep Cocoon Silk. And we need to get the Antivenom Violet, which is from the Spider Tamer, which is close by. Let me just switch this back to the combat window so you can actually see the damage I'm dealing as well. And we're not bugged with chat. I know I covered a lot of the basics in the first video. I will touch on some things as I progress. If there's anything in particular you need information on, feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you want me to cover, and I will give you more details as I go through. Right, there's the Spider Tamer, but I want to quickly use this opportunity to explain something else. As you can see, there's a ring around the mobs that I target to show that they're targeted, but the color of that ring also indicates information to us. If we look at this Gloom Spider, it is a dark blue, which means it is lower than my current level, but it will still give me experience. The lower colors will be dark blue, light blue, and green. They will all give XP. When it becomes gray, it will not give me any experience anymore. Any mob equal to my level will be a white target ring, and then higher than my level it will be yellow, like the Spider Tamer here, or red. Red mobs is more than 5 levels above you. It could be anything, and they are very dangerous to deadly depending on their level. You can also press C to consider an enemy. If you go to the main chat, it will show you. He scowls at you, ready to attack, which means he's aggressive. He will attack on his own. He won't wait for me to attack. It looks like quite a gamble, and it gives me his level. So he is level 5, which makes him 2 levels higher than me, I believe. Double check my level. No, I have just leveled up to level 4, so he's only 1 level higher than me. So I'm going to be brave and take him on. And you can see his health dropping away. My health is also dropping because he is doing damage to me. However, as my mercenary heals me, my health will go back up. Of course, you see my healer there fizzled on his spell. Fizzling is a big problem for spellcasters. Just like melee characters have the weapon skills, spellcasters have their magic skills. And if your skill is too low for your spell, your odds of fizzling or failing your spell is much higher. So casting a lot of spells, in particular schools of magic, makes it easier for you to cast higher level spells as well. If I do end up doing a caster at some point in time, I will discuss that in a lot more detail. Okay, and there is the violet we need. I don't want to always need this because I only need one, so I'm just going to select the loot button there, and I'm going to carry on killing spiders. Because we are close to his spawn location, he might respawn and attack us immediately if we are within range. So that's just something you need to be aware of. Once a mob is killed, after some time, and the amount of time depends on the zone as well as the settings for that mob, the mob will be respawned. There are some mobs that have respawn times of days or weeks even, but those are your very rare mobs which you will need for very specific quests for the most part. I must actually just look at the mobs that I'm killing. Yeah, our taunt's gone up, that's good. The higher the level of your taunt, the more hate you will generate, and the more easily you will generate hate towards yourself. You'll also see as we level up, our overall damage increases. For the most part, currently, my damage will be 2 times my level, but it will slow down when I go past this. So because my base damage is 4, I think I'm right about the cap for this weapon. So 8 would be my maximum I can do now, unless I get other things improving it. With these cocoons, you can open them and you can loot the silk. We only need 4 of them, so I'm not putting auto loot on those. Obviously, the higher the level of the monsters you fight, as well as the risk. So fighting yellow mobs or red mobs will give you more experience because it's higher risk, but there's also a bigger chance of dying. So it is something you need to be careful of. In the early levels, dying is not a problem at all, but at later levels, you will lose some of your experience when you die. So it becomes tedious at later levels. The more you die, the more experience you will lose, and it will take you much more time to level up to the higher levels. Okay, that would be the second silk we've got. These are spiderlings, I'm not too worried about them. Okay, I want to move some windows around again. I just want to move my party window to the side a little bit because I want to open up my extended target window and talk about that a little bit more. Just need to make more room for it. Alright, there we go. Now we can see all the slots in the extended target window. If I target a mob, there's nothing there, but if I start fighting this mob, it'll come onto my extended target window. This will show me all the mobs that is currently fighting anyone in your group or raid. And you can simply click on a mob in this extended target window to change your target to that mob immediately. It is very handy, especially when you're doing parties or raids. If you need to assist someone else, you can immediately see all the mobs in the group or that's hitting the group. And as a tank, it's your responsibility to try and get all the mobs to focus on you, so the remainder of your group can take the time and kill them. And the other benefit of keeping all the mobs on you is it makes the healer in your group's life a lot easier, because if all the mobs are focused on you and just beating on you, the healer only needs to focus on healing you. If you've got 4 party members and each of them has a mob bashing on them, your poor healer will need to try and keep 4 people alive, which does make survivability a big problem. Just going to carry on. I just see spiderlings, so let's kill them. Some mobs are placeholders for others as well, so by killing a spiderling, when it respawns, it might respawn as a spider as well, for example. And certain mobs have very specific placeholders, so there might be a specific mob you need to kill because it's a placeholder for a particular mob you're looking for, but we won't be getting into much of that during the tutorial. I'm just going to carry on killing spiderlings until I've got enough spiders. We just need one more. It actually looked that that spiderling counted towards my quest, but it could be that I just wasn't paying attention. Yes, it did. Okay, perfect. This spiderling also counted. I think I just saw a named down there. And of course I fall off. No, it wasn't a named. We just get up this ramp. We've got some lurkers up here. And you can see this one is white, so it's equal to my level. By white I mean the target ring, of course. You can see our one-handed slashing skill is going up as well. You can see the damage varies. I mean, I did 8 there, I did 4 there, did 8 again. So it's not a fixed amount of damage you will do. There is some RNG involved, and anyone who knows me knows that my RNG in games is terrible. As you can see, I did a kick there for 2, which is expected, but a slash for only 2 as well. RNG hates me, and I don't know why. Right, I must just keep an eye on my healer's mana as well, because if it gets too low, my healer will not be able to heal me during a fight, and that will have things turn ugly very quickly. As you can see, I'm working on a couple of these quests at the same time. Just makes it easier, otherwise it's a lot of running back and forth if you want to focus on the quests one at a time. And that's why I keep picking up quests, as many quests as I can, every time I get to the quest givers. Not all quests in this game is as easy as this, in that it gives you the quests and tracks the quest. A lot of them is a bit more complicated and relies on either you making notes or have a very good memory. Both skills I'm rather terrible at. Okay, so we also get this chunk of iron, which we can turn in for an improved weapon. Again, I did not set it to auto loot because we only need one of them. But we'll do that when we get back to the little rebel camp. See, my healer's about half on mana. Having played a healer a lot in EverQuest, I know the pain this poor mercenary is going through. You often get into groups where your team members don't really pay attention to your mana, and you end up running out of mana, not being able to heal them, and they get upset with you. You need to be cognizant of your entire group during group play. With just your mercenary, it's all up to you, really. There are some tweaks with some of the other mercenaries. The only two options we had now was a tank or a healer. Seeing as we a melee character, I decided for the healer. But later you get other possible mercenaries as well. And there are some settings you can do to your group to affect how those mercenaries act. But we will get into that after the tutorial if I continue making more videos on EverQuest. Alright, so we've got enough lurkers. So we've got a couple of quests done now. So let's head back to the rebel camp. Especially when you're running, it's a good idea to keep an eye on your extended target window. If anything pops up there, you know that something's attacking either you or your mercenary, because it's just the two of us in the group at the moment. At which time it would be a good idea to stop and fight. As you can see there, spiders attacked me and my loot is stuck now. It's not looting the item. If you try to loot it, it will actually give you a message that you can't loot it because you're in combat. So I'll just finish the combat. It should then carry on with the auto loot. If it doesn't, I can just hit the loot button. There we go, and we just loot that. As I said, every time I run past these barrels, I am going to open them up, check for bags, and there was nothing. Alright, since we've leveled up, we can... Oh, we actually handed in a quest by hailing him, and we are now level 5. So now we've got a new ability called Origin, which is unlocked for us. And I'll show you how to set that up. It's an ability that allows you to teleport to your home city, which we won't use right now, but I do want to set it onto my action bars. And we also get Arachnophobia, which is a group quest. Just want to close our task window again. Alright, we need to also deliver the violet that we got. And we need to deliver the cocoon silk. So the violet we need to give to Zenaida. So we just come here, give her the violet. That's another quest completed. We run over to Valara here. What I'm looking for is the cocoon silk, which is these. Give that to Valara. Oh no, sorry, that's coarse silk. How am I reading? There's my Glooming Deep cocoon silk. Pick that up, put it on my cursor, give it to her. And there we go, another quest completed. And she will give us a chest piece, which is not bad. Gives us a maximum of, I think it's 6 dexterity there. Oh no, sorry, that's 6 strength, 2 dexterity, 9 stamina, 2 charisma, 10 wisdom, intelligence, agility, bunch of other things. Double check that that has auto-equipped. It has indeed. Great. Now for the iron bar, we come back to Absol, who's upgraded our weapon once before. We give him this chunk of iron. Give that to him. And there we have a new weapon. If we look at this weapon, it has a maximum or base damage of 6 and a ratio of 0.214, which is much better than our current weapon. So we'll equip that. This sharpened short sword that we've got, we won't be able to sell that. So I'm just selling all my other loot that we got. Must actually just move these windows down a little bit because I've moved this bar in the way of it. Just need to move that away. Can move these down. Sorry, I do know I spend quite a bit of time moving things around. Let me finish selling. You see this sharpened sword, the sell button is grayed out because it cannot be sold. This leather bracer I did say I want to keep for now. We'll just sell the silk. Alright, we can hit done. You can pick up the item the items you can't sell that you want to get rid of, and you can click on this destroy button with the item on your cursor and just confirm, and that would permanently destroy the item. There is a way of getting it back, but I'm not going to go into that just now. Let me just go through quickly and set my bag slots all to just be a bit lower down. I'll just use these two bags to move them around. I want to see the quiver, so I can put this one in relation to it. It's not very tidy the way I'm doing it, but it will suffice for now. There we go, and I just want to put the bracer into my last bag. Your bags will fill up in sequence once your inventory slots are filled, and it follows the same sequence. It will start from this bag. It will attempt to put something in it. If it can't, it will move to the next one, then down to this one, over, this one, over, this one, over, this one, over. That's the sequence your bags will be filled. So this one would be the last to be filled by things we're looting. If any of your bags has limitations, or it can't hold an item because of its size or whatever, it will try to move to the next bag as well. Just want to show you here as well, we've got two new skills that are now level 1. You've become better at dodge, and we've become better at parry. Those are two new skills we've now acquired by reaching level 5. Certain skills only unlock when you get to a certain level. So you'll see we now have dodge here, and it's on 1 out of 5. And we've got parry as well. And here's parry. It's also 1 out of 5. So the new skills started at level 1, but as they get used, and those get automatically used. And there we have a bag. We've got a small bag. So let's just accept that. And I'm just going to put it in the first available slot. Let's put this tome in our last bag as well. So there we've now got a 4-slot bag available as well. So we've already got a bit more carry space. Some rations. Your character will automatically eat and drink over time. I'm going to attempt something and we might die. So I'm actually going to try this quest for Arachnida to kill Queen Gloomfang. My healer is at full mana, so we should be, well, the healer should be okay initially. Whether we will survive this fight, I don't know. There is Queen Gloomfang up there. So I'm just going to move through and start the fight. And of course there we got poisoned. The red border shows me that it's a negative effect on me, and that will do damage to me over time. There, our dodge is increased, nice. Parry is increased. Parry's already up to level 3. Parry's level 4. It's almost at maximum for my current level. So it goes up pretty fast, which is not bad at all. You might hear the music and the sound gives a little bit of an echo. That normally is when you get stunned, which means for a time you can't take any actions. You can also see here in my chat, the purple messages is the damage I'm taking from the poison. Let me just increase the size of this chat window, if I can just, there we go. So a little bit more of the chat is visible. you have two forms of regeneration for health and mana. You've got what is known as in combat and out of combat regeneration. During a fight, you can only get your in combat regeneration values. If you look at this player window here, you see these swords. It shows that I'm in combat. As soon as this fight is finished, if I survive this fight, I will show you that as well. Even after a fight, you will only get your in-combat regeneration for some time. You need to be out of combat for a certain amount of time before you get your out-of-combat regeneration values, which is much higher. And for things like mana regeneration, sitting down actually improves it. And there's also a skill called Meditate, which some casters get, which increases mana regeneration rate. You see now it's that hourglass icon there. I'm still only getting in combat regeneration rates. I just want to show you when that changes. Going to stay out of combat for a bit. You see this grey bar counting down. 5 more seconds. And there we go. Now we are getting out of combat regeneration rates. So health and mana will regenerate a lot faster when you're out of combat. You can also see your rates if you come and look at your stats here. Does it show? There you go. So you can see your combat values here. So my combat HP regen currently shows -1, and that is because I'm still poisoned. And you can see I'm still taking damage from that poison. As soon as that poison wears off, I will see my proper regeneration. My combat mana regeneration is 1, and endurance regeneration is 7. Endurance is our yellow resource bar here. As a warrior, I don't use mana, so I don't have a mana bar, which will be a blue bar. Okay, the icon for Gloom Poison is flashing, which means it is busy wearing off. Just wait for this to wear off. There we go. And now you can see our combat health regen is showing 2. It only shows you your combat regeneration values. I'm not sure what the relation is between your combat and out of combat regeneration. I need to look that up. I've gone rusty on a lot of these values. But now that we've slain Queen Gloomfang, we do not turn the quest in to the god who gave us the quest. It actually tells us to go and speak to God Hobart, which is a different god. So we are going to God Hobart now to turn that in, and we're pretty much done in this spider area. So we can now start moving towards the next area. Your mercenary will automatically increase in level when you increase in level as well. Okay, that's a crew defined cloth gloves, so that we'll loot. We got us another arrow, another ration and an arrow. Okay, now we're going to go up this passage, and there's 2 more guards here. We've got Hobart, which gives us level 4 and higher quests, and God Maddock, which gives us level 6 and higher quests. So let's just hail him to hand in our quest, and we're getting a helmet as well as a potion, or 5 potions. Just put that in the bag. This is Celestial Healing, which is a heal over time. I'll just put that on the action bar. We'll hail him again, and there's 2 more quests we can pick up. The Battle of Glooming Deep. Grab that, and Freedom Stand. So we'll grab those 2 quests, and let's speak to Maddock as well. Hail him, and Cobalt Leadership. Alright, just going to check all the barrels in this room. And there we got another bag. It went to the next available inventory slot. I'm just moving it. I'll move my rations into this bag. I'll put these gloves there as well. The cloth and leather we won't be using as a warrior, but if I switch personas to classes that can use them, I already have some gear available. So now we're starting to fight kobolds. The nice thing is our bane damage will now also kick in. Oh, we don't have bane damage because we switched weapons. I forgot about that. So you're seeing I'm doing 12 points of damage now maximum. Tells me I'm level 6, I think. I am indeed level 6. But I want to show you that augment we got for the bane damage. If you lose it, or you lose the weapon or change weapons like I have, there is a way of getting it back. So I'm just running back to Mackenzie here. You can just target Mackenzie, hail him again, and immediately he gives you another stone. So I'm just going to open my sword, and we are going to put this in, which now gives our weapon 2 bane damage against kobolds. You can also see here, if you receive healing, I only got healed for 2 health. The 16 in brackets is the amount of health I could have gotten, potentially, but I was only healed for 2, and that was because my health was close to full. This basic mercenary I've got is not the most efficient of spellcasters, so will often use larger heal spells than are required, but that's not a big issue. I'm just sort of avoiding these kobolds. I'm just going, there's 2 more guards, which gives me additional quests. I just want to grab all of those first before we start farming these quests in this area. I keep clicking on the border of the window. Just grabbing all the barrels as we move along. Right, so there's 2 more guards here. We've got Revolt Scout Kaikachi, and we've got Revolt Scout Zajir. So let's hail them. So we get Goblin Treachery, and we also get Busted Locks. And from Zajir we get Scouting Looming Deep, and we get Sabotage. With Sabotage we get an item as well, which is this makeshift lantern bomb. This water here, there's a underwater passage. I don't know, you can barely see it there. You can swim through this to reach the revolt camp. I'm not going to swim through there now. As a froglock, I've got a high swimming skill, so it's not a problem. Some of the races don't start with a high swimming skill, and your swim speed is directly related to your swimming skill. So you might need to be careful not to run out of breath in the middle of that passage. So that task stage that completed that popped up is for the scouting quest that I've got, which is this one. There's certain points where you need to walk past to advance that quest. What I am heading to do now is the Goblin Treachery quest, which is this one. We need to kill 10 Goblin Slaves, and we also need to kill Rookfin, the Goblin Shaman. For some reason I had my auto attack off there. Accidentally turned it off. These celestial remedy potions I've got, I will leave as a last resort and use them when I see my healer's mana is very low or it's out of mana and I need healing. It's a heal over time, so it's not a massive heal, but it does give you a bit of health every couple of seconds for a duration. So it will slowly rebuild your health. As we progress through these, I'll probably end up talking less and playing more. If you want more or less commentary during these videos, feel free to give me a shout and tell me what your preference is. There you can see we've got 2 targets on us now. One just died. That's the usefulness of the extended target window. You can see our dodge has already moved up to 9 here as well, which is higher than the 5 last time we looked at the skill, but we also gained a level in the meantime. So as with most skills, the maximum increases as you level up. Just want to grab these barrels as well, and then I'm going to turn back. I did get some more containers, so let's just open our inventory and our bags. So we've got one more bag slot available, but these are small bags. I would like to replace them with backpacks, which you can also randomly get from these barrels. So hopefully we will get lucky and get a few of those. Okay, we're going to go down into this pit. Just killing as we move along. I must move this window selector back down. Just something else on this target window. This bar here at the bottom will show me any spells that is active on my target as well. So if you're fighting someone that has buffs or debuffs on them, you will be able to see them in that section. And that is the reason I've sized mine up that much. Especially in raids, you want to be able to see more of the spells on him. And we've got a named here, Broken Claw, that's attacked us. He's a yellow con to us. Con is just a term for the color you get when you consider a mob. Using a bit of the EverQuest slang. Okay, I've got 2 targets on me again. I'm just checking that nothing is attacking my cleric, and I'm going to continue fighting my current target. If the other mob was on my cleric, I would have switched to him, get him to focus on me, and then I would have jumped back to the strongest one to keep him focused on me. Okay, I'll just want to start this fight. Let's have a look here. So this is Gloom Chain Sleeves, which I don't want. So I'm going to say never, which means whenever this drops again, it won't even ask me to loot it. Because you can't trade that, you can't sell it. And I don't want to wear chain on my warrior. I don't even think I can wear that. Just checking the time. Might just finish this quest all the way to Rookfin and call it quits there, depending on how we go. There's some basics I haven't covered. Every time we level up our maximum health, and if you were a caster, your maximum mana will increase as well. Depending on your class, that will determine the amount by which it increases. Also, your attributes affect that as well, to some extent. This Cobalt Whip I'm also going to set to never. I don't want to loot that. There's an exhausted goblin here which you can attack as well. He's very easy to kill. I'm just killing all the goblins along the way. We've got 2 out of 10 goblins, so we need 8 more. This tutorial is not part of the original EverQuest game. It was only added later on. So if you do play on a time-locked progression server, this will not be available until the relevant expansion is unlocked. I unfortunately cannot remember which expansion this came in with. But since then, every new character will start going through the tutorial, which does give you a chance to learn a bit of the mechanics on relatively easy fights. I'm happy my healer's mana's staying full, which is good. Okay, and we got a crew-defined ruby shard. What this gives me is intelligence and wisdom. As a warrior, I'm not going to need that, so I'm setting that to never. I didn't even check if it was sellable. Oh dear, I've tossed away loot. If you've done what I did there and you've set something to never and you want to change that, I will show you after this fight how you would go about doing that. You can type in /AD, if I could type, ADV loot. That'll open your advanced loot window. And in here you can go into your loot settings. Not loot settings. Well, while I'm here, I want to set auto loot all on. Actually, no, I don't want to auto loot all. I like to be able to check. You can go to your edit filters. Here you can see how many items it shows at a time. You can increase or decrease this number. You can merge or replace filters by clicking on this. You can select a character, any of your characters from any server, to load the loot rules that's set up on that character. Or you can type in part of an item's name here. I'm looking for that ruby. And here you can change the settings. You can set your auto greed, auto need, never. This is auto roll, which is an extra option that your group leader will get if you're in a party. That they can set an item to auto roll. So whenever it drops, it will wait for some time and then it would automatically start the rolling process. If this is not on, they will get a button to manually roll loot. So for the more selective gear, gives them an option to have a discussion with the group first before you roll it. Or you can click this remove button to completely remove it. So I can just take off the never and I can say yes. And that has now actually removed it from my list because that was the only option that was on. So the next time it drops, it will prompt me again what I want to do. And that's how you can make changes to your loot rules if you've accidentally done something wrong. Based on the mistakes I've made in the past, sometimes you're looking for specific items for quests and I'm just not getting it. I've found out that often I've set it to never, for example, and I can just go in there, turn it off, and then the item will start dropping again. It doesn't prevent it from dropping, it just immediately prevents you from looting it. Which means it does stay on the corpse for some time until the corpse despawns. Which I should be able to show you as well. So if we just head back up this passage. I think the kobold that dropped that shard. Oh no, it has already despawned. Some mobs take longer to despawn as well. I think in the tutorial they do despawn pretty quickly. So any items not looted will stay on the corpse. The corpse is locked to your current party for some time before it becomes available to someone else to loot. If we find a mob's corpse somewhere, I will show you that as well. Which has been very quiet in the tutorial. Apologies for that. It's been rather quiet in the tutorial. We haven't seen that many other players. There was a couple I've seen running about. And this is Rookfin, who we need to kill for our quest. We also need 2 more goblins, so I will carry on killing some goblins as well before I call it for this episode. I do not want his pick, so I'll set that to never. Just moving around this side, and I'm going to use my throw stone to pull them closer. I still did pull 2 goblins, but that's fine. Once we've got all our kills that we need for this quest, I just need to move back to the guard to turn this in. Oh, I only had 6, it's now up to 7. Sorry, I misread that. But we will get more goblins in the passage as we head back. Would like to grab this barrel. Just kill the slave warder. It's a bit more experience. He's a white con, so he's equal to our level. Just widening this window a little bit. I know my screen is very busy. I've had friends complaining that they can't understand how I can play with my screen this busy. It works for me. There's some things I want to have visible at all times. At higher levels I might take my skills off, or I might move it into a tab down in this window. But early levels it's nice for me to have it available, to at least see that I am improving my skills. Yeah, as a melee character, defense is definitely well worth it for me. It will reduce the damage I take, or the likelihood, or reduce the likelihood that I get hit as well. Although that's more a function of dodge. believe this will be the last goblin we need, but we might need to fight a few more to just get out of this tunnel again. There we go. Task stage completed. See, yeah, we did not make it past that goblin. He did spot us. Where's the second goblin that's attacking us? I also like to play in first person most of the time, which I've also had people complaining about. They prefer to play third person. I vary between the two. Most of the time I'm in first person mode, but I'll go to third person for a bit. You can just scroll your mouse wheel forward or backward to zoom in and zoom out. So I'll just keep it at about this distance for now. Let's just get this goblin down. There we go, another Defiant Gem. This one gives us armor class as well as dexterity. So it would be useful to maybe grab this. So we can grab that, open our bags and inventory. Let's slot that into our chest piece. Here we go. And it's now improved the statistics of our item. Just something very important to bear in mind when you are socketing items like that. Sometimes the items you socket has their own level requirements. So it is possible that you can make an item unusable to yourself by putting in a socketed gem or item. I have done that in the past. So it is something you just need to consider. just on that as well. If any of your items are not usable, they will have a red background in your inventory to indicate that that item actually has zero effect on you at the moment because it's not usable. So I'm just grabbing these barrels again on the way out. Okay, that kobold did not spot me, which is good. So we need to go back to Guard Kalachi, which is down the passage there at the back. I've got myself targeted there, that's why it won't open. These guys I might not be able to get past. I'm going to try. Okay, great. Nope, I did not. I almost made it past. One of them decided he wants to play. So I'm going to take the shortcut from the rebel camp to the guard. It's to go and complete our quest, so you'll also be able to see the passage you can swim through. And we will approach it from the campsite. I'm just grabbing all the barrels on the way. Got another small bag there I saw. You can set up as many chat windows and tabs as you like. And you can set filters on all of them, like I filtered skills to go here. Ah, we've got a backpack. You can filter your loot to go to specific windows. You see my backpack has moved in there. So what I'm going to do is take my first small bag and replace it. If I hit Control and left click on the backpack with the bag, it would automatically put the items from the bag into the backpack. It's a quick way to transfer things between bags. You can just control and left click on another bag and it would put all items from the bag in your cursor into the bag you're hovering over. Or clicking onto rather. I'm not going to sell now. We've got plenty of inventory space still. So if you jump into the water here, and this is where first person is easier for me, you can dive down and swim down this tunnel. This shows my air remaining. The lower your swimming skill, the faster this will empty out. And also your swim speed is also determined by your swimming skill. As a froglog, it's not something for me to worry about. And here's our guard where we turn in. And we got a nice bracer for that. Just double check it's equipped. Yes. So we did manage to get a few quests knocked out in this episode. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you like, dislike, whether you would like me to continue making videos on EverQuest. As I said, I will do some more until I've finished all the tutorial quests for the warrior. And then based on the feedback, I will decide whether I am going to carry on or whether there is no one interested in watching this. As always, be safe, have fun, and see you next time.